Hey everybody, welcome back to another Meaningful Monday. My name is Drew B. Harrell, and today we're talking about keeping yourself mentally agile. And what I mean by that is essentially what we like to call frame control. Now, what the heck does that even mean? So basically, you talk to people and you sometimes you're in the mindset of just being confident, being relaxed, being, you know, fun or whatever solid kind of homeostasis you're in right now, right? That's when you have a solid frame and things are going well and mentally you're okay. But there are times when we're not okay. There are times when we're feeling mentally just, I don't want to say mentally weak, but just mentally not all there. We're not feeling like socializing. We don't feel like being around situations, and things can set us off very easily. That's when you have essentially a weak frame, right? It's your frame's not super strong in that moment. And that can be from a number of different things. Nothing actually has to be particularly wrong. It's just where you're not mentally where you want to be all the time, right? Maybe you just got some bad news, or it's been one of those off days. You could just also just be really, really tired. There's so many factors that go into mental health and to kind of keep maintaining that good positive frame that it's hard to really pinpoint for yourself what's causing it all the time. But what you want to do is create a stronger frame for yourself and being able to create, I guess, rituals, if you want to call them that thing, those call them that, or strategies for dealing with that whenever you do have a weak frame where you're not feeling mentally strong as you want to be. Because let's face it, we all go through that kind of situation. For me personally, the biggest challenge for me mentally is when I deal with my parents and a lot of the conversations we have sometimes, because no one gets to me like my parents do. So it's very easy for me to have a conversation with one of my parents or both of them, and then come out of that conversation feeling mentally weaker or just stressed out or not ready to deal with anything serious at that point. And after that, where I need to just reset and go through my process, right? And process whatever we talked about. So if you're having situations like that, whether you have that situation with a partner or with a business associate or partner, or with clients, potential clients, there's so many situations where this comes up. So we're going to go through a couple different scenarios where this could come up for you, and then we'll talk about some strategies to deal with it. So one is if you're in a sales conversation, if you're a business owner and you're having a talk with a potential client, and you want to have a stronger frame, because if you control that frame, if you have the situations where your frame is strong, your potential client or whoever you're having a conversation with will adapt your frame. There's a concept where two frames essentially are colliding in any interaction, and whoever has a stronger frame is going to be the one who wins out. For example, you go into a sales conversation knowing that you can help this person and that you can really be the one to be the vendor that they need. They're going to that conversation either afraid of being sold to, or maybe they don't want to buy anything in that moment, even though they may actually need it. Whoever has a stronger frame is going to win that conversation. Is going to win that interaction. And I don't want to say win isn't because someone loses. It's more about having that frame be the controlling frame. And when you have a strong frame, that frame will control the interaction. So if you go in, there's a sales concept where either you're selling your situation or they're selling yours. Either way, someone's going to buy something, right? You either buy their story or they buy yours. So if you're a business owner and you know you can help this person, that's also the key. I want to stress that because I always talk about that. Authentically selling and selling with empathy, because that's ultimately what it is. You're not selling someone something that they don't need. That's a different conversation. But that frame of I know I can help this person and I will help this person can control the situation, can control that interaction. However, if your frame is not strong, if again, whatever you're going through, if you're going through a tough time at work, if you're going through personal situations, and your frame is for whatever reason weaker than the other person's, then that person's frame is going to control that interaction. And then you're not going to be able to ultimately have the outcome that you want to get out of that situation. The same is true with any romantic partners you're talking about. If you get into an argument with your romantic partner or your friend or anything like that, right? And your frame is not strong, if you're not confident in what you know, or you don't know what you really know, or you're bullshitting for any reason, right? That frame is much weaker than someone who's coming from a place of confidence. Whether they're right or wrong doesn't really matter. It's really about that frame control. And frame also does not rely on fact. I want to point that out, okay? Frame is all about perception. It's all about your mental state in that moment. So if you're feeling mentally weaker for any reason, whether you realize it or not, things are going to get to you a lot easier than otherwise. I had a friend this weekend. We were hanging out, and a bunch of us were hanging out, and every small things were getting to her because things weren't always going the way we wanted them to go that day. And they were just getting to her to the point where she was just really getting frustrated. We actually have a conversation, and she's just like, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, and I'm just mentally not where I want to be. Once she said that, she started feeling a little better because she actually acknowledged it. And so that's the first step of the strategy that I want to go through, is acknowledge you're not in the frame that you want to be in, or the ideal frame for whatever you want to accomplish. That's the first step in any kind of personal development or personal growth strategies, is identifying and accepting that there is an issue. I don't want to say problem because it's not always a problem. It's just something you have to deal with. It's an issue. It's a consideration. So that's the first step. The second step is sort of optional, but identifying, it's helpful to identify where that came from or what the genesis of that situation was. Maybe there was a conversation that you had where that caused you to feel a certain way. Maybe there's a certain situation going on in your personal life or your professional life that's affecting the way you're thinking about the world or thinking about yourself. It's helpful to identify, but not necessary. It makes it a lot easier. The next step is going to be a lot easier once you identify what the issue is. But like I said, it's not absolutely necessary. The next step, though, is deciding what you want the outcomes to be and what you want the situation to be that's going to happen next. Once you decide that, then you can kind of let everything go and take some breaths for yourself and really take a moment to recenter yourself. And centering is, I like to call it like meditation light. It can be as simple as taking a couple deep breaths. For those of you familiar with positive intelligence, you can also do what's called PQ reps, which is really focusing on your body, getting yourself out of your head and focusing on your body, something physical, whether it's visual, whether it's kinesthetic, whether it's a smell, right? Whatever it is, you're getting yourself out of your head and into your body and kind of breathing into whatever you're talking about. Focusing on your breath is a really easy way to do this. And you don't have to necessarily be meditating or closing your eyes or anything. You can do this while driving. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to advocate doing meditation or anything like that while you're driving, but you can pick something on the road and just kind of focus on different things and get yourself out of your brain and into whatever you're doing. You can do this while you're walking. One easy way is just keeping two fingers pressed together really, really tightly and focusing on that feeling and then rubbing them together. Really, really feeling that feeling and feeling the ridges on their fingertips and exactly what's there, what that tension feels like, what that scent, I can't think of the word right now, sorry, that sensory perception feels like. Getting into that moment, into that situation, brings you into that moment and centers you in whatever you're feeling in that moment. And then you can also, while you're doing that, slowly let go of whatever it is that's bothering you. If you actually know what it is, if you're taking time to identify that, you can kind of let that go. If you haven't taken time to identify that, it's going to kind of go anyway because you're focusing on your body instead of whatever's going on in your brain. But like I said, that extra step will allow you to target that thing and let that go and decide for yourself what can I actually control in the situation. In any situation, all you can ever control is yourself and your mindset and what's going on in your head. You can't control anything else external in reality, nothing. So focus on what you can control, decide what you want your outcomes to be, and then clear your head and really center yourself in whatever moment you have in that's happening for you right now, whether it's driving, whether it's walking, whether it's sitting at your desk. Sometimes it helps just take a walk around the block or walk around the house, taking your dog or well, dog for a walk. You wouldn't take a cat for a walk. So, but spending time with your cat, right? Spending time with a pet. That also helps. Talking things out. If you can talk it out, that's also really powerful as well, because that really helps you to kind of pinpoint what's going on. But these are all strategies you can use to deal with these situations. And if you have more time, you can talk it out. If you have less time, you can really just do that PQ rep situation where you're just pressing your fingers together and focusing on that sensory perception. Those are great strategies for dealing with this kind of thing. But understand that the basis of all this is really about your frame and your perception of the situation. If you're in a poor state of mind where you're not able to focus on things and you're feeling mentally weaker, any little thing is going to set you off, right? Any little thing is going to get through. And think of it like an energy shield. The stronger your energy is, the harder it is for things to get through and bug you. But the weaker your energy shield is, the weaker that energy is around you, that frame that you have, the weaker it is, the easier stuff will get. And the stronger it is, the harder it is for things to bug you, and harder it is the things to really get through and disrupt whatever you're trying to do. You've heard people talking about being unflappable, right? That's what this is. Being unflappable is being able to have your strong frame control and understand that you can control your energy and regulate your energy as you need to get whatever you need to get done. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I kind of went a little bit weird at the last part of it, but I hope that was still clear on what needs to be said. But frame control is extremely, extremely important, and it is really, really powerful when you really get good at it. There's always going to be things that bug us. There are always going to be people who can get through to us more than others. But as much as you can, try to practice doing this. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the more you're able to do this. This is why Shaolin monks and monks in general, people who practice meditation on a regular basis, yogis, for example, they're excellent at frame control. They always seem super, super calm no matter what's going on, because they can ultimately control their frame and realize that there's certain things they can control and certain things they can't. And they're really good at letting go of those things. Don't get down on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself if you can't do it really well at first. Everyone's not great at it all at first either. I wasn't great at it either. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. So practice makes perfect. Get better at it. It never totally goes away. You just get better at dealing with it. So take some time for yourself. Try to do this for yourself and practice some centering, practice some different activities. Try different things out for yourself for centering, whether it's PQ reps, whether it's just breathing, some actual meditation. Try different strategies. See what's worked for you. Everyone has their own way of doing it. There's not only one way to do it. There's many ways to do anything. So practice makes perfect. See what you can do, and hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Stay safe. Have a great week.